Hello and welcome to Cricket Buzz Live. I'm Sayumi Kher. I am back after a nice 4-day break. Afghanistan are back after a nice 6-day break. They take on Bangladesh today. It's a do or die for Bangladesh. Joining me in the studio without any breaks, Murli Karthik, and with him Rohan Gavaskar, who's back after a very long break. 6-month break.
Yeah.
How was that break?
I was like a Kit Kat. Take a,
have a break. Have a
Kit Kat. Yeah.
The new brand ambassador.
Nice.
Yeah.
But has Mr. Karthik ignored you already in your first day? Has that happened? The selfie?
The ignore selfie?
Yes. He's still ignoring
No,
you.
I mean, we can take one right now. I've got my phone right there. Just see what he does. When I say, Catty, let's take a picture, this is what he does.
But why don't you give a picture? Mr. Karthik, Murli Karthik, he wants a picture with you.
I'll tell you.
Because my face doesn't look good on
No, because Murli Karthik only gives pictures to good-looking people. So if you ask him for a selfie, you'll see the biggest smile. But yeah, no chance.
We'll try and change that around by the end of today or tomorrow. We'll try. But where all have you been? Because you've been in France, you've been in Switzerland, in London. That's where you've been.
No, he's been in the jungle as well.
I've been in the jungle. I was in Africa for a while. And I've got to say, Africa is the most magical place on earth.
Agreed.
I was working in England for a while. And then I was, as you know, because I know whose Instagram page you stalk. I was in France for a while. So yeah, it's been an eventful few months.
Well, all I can say is that we are pretty envious of all the places that you've been to. I think just like Bangladesh is envious of Afghanistan. And they want to be in the place that Afghanistan are at. Bangladesh have won the toss. They have decided to bat first. We'll have a look at that points table because they will want to be at the place that Afghanistan are at, especially with that net run rate, Karthik.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what they did against Hong Kong and China, maybe that was the game where they were feeling their way into the tournament wasn't the way they would have ideally started, because after that Hong Kong and China have only shown improvement as the games have gone by. I think Afghanistan got them at the right time. Maybe if they'd got them, maybe it would have been a very different scenario, but great start for Afghanistan. Then they've had the opportunity to literally chill, as you said, 6 days and see what unfolds in the tournament. They've seen how Bangladesh have performed. They did really well in that one game and then literally stuttered to that defeat against Sri Lanka. And then they've seen the way Sri Lanka have played. So it's given them a great opportunity to look at other teams. And now they're up against, I would say, sort of an interesting Bangladesh side, because Litton has been a constant factor for them. Jakar played really well in the end, but the openers haven't fired. In one game, they were 14 and 19. In the next game, both openers got a duck. So they've not gotten off to great starts, which means everything has revolved around Litton Kumar Das. And obviously, we were a bit surprised that Tuskin wasn't playing that second game. They went for Shariful. So it'll be interesting to see how Bangladesh come and play today. Again, all that has been spoken about how Bangladesh haven't been able to match up to the standards what Afghanistan have achieved have been going on for a while, and I know that Bangladesh fans get a bit touchy when anybody talks about their team, but that's unfortunately that's the reality.
It's the truth.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the reality.
No, the reality you're talking about is since 2022, if we see what all has happened in the T20 World Cup, what has happened in the Asia Cup. When we have a look at this, Rohan, in 22, the Asia Cup, Afghanistan qualified to the Super 4 stage. Bangladesh remained winless. Then in the 23 ODI World Cup, Afghanistan finished 6th, Bangladesh 8th. 24 T20 World Cup, Afghanistan qualified for the semis, and well, Bangladesh have never reached that in history. And the 25 Champions Trophy, both crashed out, but those games that Afghanistan had against England was something that was very memorable.
Yeah, and I think one proper factor of knowing, which team is stronger at the moment is that if you made a combined Afghanistan-Bangladesh 11, you'd have more Afghanistan players in it. In a T20 format, you definitely have more Afghanistan players. Catty and me were talking off air about if you had to make a world 11, how many players walk in? And we obviously said Bumrah and Surya Kumar Yadav from India, and for me Rashid Khan would be someone who could be a walk-in. Where there's not too much debate about his position as a very high quality bowling all-rounder. But there's no one from the Bangladesh team who might even come into the reckoning.
Maybe Shakib once upon a time.
No, I'm saying right now. Shakib wouldn't come in. I mean, he's not there, so he's retired. But Right now, there's no one. And that again tells you the gulf between these two teams.
But you know, you talk about this gulf, it's almost like this younger and older sibling, because we know that Afghanistan has been the younger sibling. And then suddenly in a 100-meter race, when the younger sibling goes past your older sibling, you wonder how that speed has been gathered. So how has Afghanistan done that?
And the funny thing is that the older sibling got everything. They got the first prize in everything. They got home advantage. They've been there for a longer time, whereas the younger sibling has only had to go and play in other places as their home ground. With whatever is happening around in their own country, they don't even have the kind of facilities which the older sibling has, and also the support. Just think of it, they hardly play at home, so they don't get any support. India gave them 2 homes to play, and they've been in Dubai for a long time. Many of them ply their trade outside, and also think of the number of players who are sought after in other leagues as well. So it makes a huge difference. It's a story of resilience. Whatever story it is, it's a story of resilience, and the way those players have all been galvanized together into a force. I think you have to doff their hat to them. Take a leaf out of it. There is nothing to feel touchy about it. That's what I feel. I think you need to feel happy and take a leaf out of their book.
You know, Caddy was talking about, not being able to play in front of your home fans. I actually think, at least for me, they are my second team. Obviously, India is my first team.
That's a big thing, yes.
For a long time, it was Sri Lanka. I used to, if Sri Lanka was playing against any other team, I'd be supporting Sri Lanka. Now, when Afghanistan plays against another team, I'm a diehard Afghanistan supporter because of what they've gone through. The fact that you've got to go. You've been in India for so long. Playing in Lucknow, Dehradun. That was your sort of base.
But do you think that's what helped them? Just different conditions around the world.
I 100% believe it did, because you've sort of got your base in Lucknow. You've got your base in, I think, even in
UAE as well.
UAE, even in Noida. Were they in Noida for a while?
They were in Noida.
They were in Noida for a while. Dehradun, so you're going through different parts of India, different conditions. Then in Dehradun, in Dubai, UAE. So different conditions. You're learning to adapt. You're learning to adjust, and we're seeing quality players.
But Karthik, you're talking about Bangladesh and the very passionate fans that Bangladesh has. They came into the Asia Cup very positive because they won 3 series before coming into the Asia Cup. So fans were almost looking forward to the Asia Cup, like you look forward to this big hero Diwali release, but then it just doesn't live up to the expectations. So what do you think has gone wrong with them in the Asia Cup?
It's interesting because just on this topic, me and Simon, we were with Manish yesterday, we were talking about it. Look, obviously, we've seen that there's been an over-dependence on Litton and a few bowlers. They've had to rely on a few late-order hitting. The second game against Sri Lanka, I just felt they were a bit muddled in their approach. That was a big game for them, and I thought that they would be a little more proactive in the way they thought about their batting, the way they had to plan their defense, and I thought it was a bit muddled. And again, maybe you can say it's a new captain, he's going to have some, or he's going to take some time to get his act right. But I just feel you can't just put it on one person. It has to be a combined effort, it has to be a collective thinking, and also the kind of turnover that they have had with the kind of coaches that they have had. I don't know what sort of signals it sends. Are players always watching over their back? Are people always watching over their back? So the kind of messaging that goes back and forth, how clear is it? Because sometimes when you're watching over your back, it's always a bit muddled. It's always a bit withheld. If I can use that word. So you just don't want that. You want a lot of clarity. You just want a lot of freedom in the way you communicate. So I feel all this actually hampers a team's progress. And Simon made a very valid point. He said any team, any of these teams actually have to invest in solid coaches from a very young age so that the messaging is very clear as they grow up. So I don't know whether it's a question of that, but just coming back to this tournament, there's been an over-dependence, and I just feel the communication has not been clear at all. That was the first feeling I had.
Well, with Jonathan Trott and company, they clearly have their messaging clear. They have their teams pretty clear. We'll have a look at Afghanistan's playing 11. They've gone ahead unchanged, Rohan. This is the clarity we talk about. They played one game 6 days ago. They've had a nice long break, but gone ahead with the same 11.
Yeah, and why would you change that? Because this seems like a well-settled 11, very well-balanced. You look at, a lot of their players over there have got a lot of white ball experience.
Yes.
as you said earlier, playing in different leagues across the world. So that white ball experience really comes in handy, whether it's, T10 cricket that they play or T20 or 50-over cricket. They've got a lot of experience. And they're, again, you wouldn't want to change that level. It looks like a very settled and balanced 11.
You said that this is your number 2 team if you look at Asia, and that's saying a big thing.
Same for me.
You too.
Same for me.
Not Asia, across the world.
Oh, across the world, not just the Asia.
When I say number 2 team, I'm not saying number 2 in terms of they're the second best team. It's the team that I follow.
You follow and
I
support.
support.
You follow.
So that game when Maxwell got that 100.
Yes.
I was
It
like,
was a
what are you
game to win.
doing? What are you doing constantly? That's the
Yes.
kind of feeling you get because they had Australia on the ropes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But that was again, okay. Yeah. It was a bittersweet moment because we saw one of the greatest innings ever.
But again, I was thinking as a bowler, and I'm thinking, if your back leg is hurting, you can't move. The last ball that you want to receive is the slower one. You want pace on.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they kept feeding Maxwell with. And I was like, don't give it to him. Just keep it as lola-pola as possible. He's going to hit one in the air.
Yeah.
They just kept feeding him with pace and then the rest is history.
No, but like Rohan saying, it was that one-legged innings of Maxwell. It was just something that that game stays with cricket fans forever.
Ever.
But like you all were talking about, they've been contenders for quite some time. They've gone from the underdog. They've become these people to watch out for, like the World Cup game you're talking about. But what does Jonathan Todd and company need to do to become the challengers? Because we've seen them be contenders all this while.
Well, they're dark horses. For them, for Afghanistan to become favourites in any tournament, I think it's a while away.
Oh, still a while away.
It's still a while away simply because if you look at it, and we're talking about T20 over here, or white ball, you look at some of the big names. You look at India, you look at Australia, even England, the way they're playing. Take West Indies also, for example. Just the abundance of talent and ability and opportunity that they have right now and experience. For me, just puts them a level above Afghanistan. But in the Asia zone, let's go back to that. They're the second favourites. They're, I think, the second best team in the Asia zone. And I'm probably going to upset a lot of Bangladesh and Pakistani fans and maybe even Sri Lankan fans. But I just think Afghanistan have the quality to be called the second best team.
These seats only upset people.
Yeah.
Well, we're speaking the truth, so truth can be a little upsetting.
It's an opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But also for Afghanistan, when you talk about crunch games, do you think that they have their bowling sorted? They just have an abundance of spinners. They have that bowling department sorted, but you'd want to work on the batting?
In these conditions, of course. Look, you don't want to rely on only spinners when conditions are very different. Obviously, in subcontinental conditions and when the conditions are sticky, the kind of variety that they have in their spin bowling obviously makes things difficult for batters, but they would want a better bowling lineup. And also, again, the point which Rohan made off air was that they rely on a lot of all-rounders. When you look at that list of all-rounders is huge in that team. So you want to make sure that you have all bases covered. And that's where I think sometimes the teams that he mentioned, places like India, you think of other teams, you can have another team, India A, who can go and beat everybody here. It's that sort of abundance, that sort of system, which unfortunately maybe they're not able to create, and so they're relying on a few people to constantly fire. If you've got somebody slightly out of form, then who's the replacement? So those kind of things, in spite of that, that's why I feel the resilience and the passion that they have, and the way they collected together. And I can remember my railways team. The reason why I mentioned that is no facilities. We all came together as having been rejected by other state sides. So for us, the thing was to prove a point to everyone. Without any facilities, all you did was wanted to prove a point collectively with no name. So I think that is a mentality which you can have because you're there. You have to make your game count. You have to make this tournament count. And that is something which Afghanistan seemed to do really nicely.
Well, talking about proving a point, Bangladesh really needs to prove a point, and especially Litun Das, because the captain has just had not the best time. We know that, he's been around, he's started well in this tournament, but then that last game against Sri Lanka, when fans were waiting and hoping he does something, he got out on 28. So it almost feels like, they want to pin their hopes on him, but he's not really doing much.
Yeah, he has flattered to deceive. He's someone who, like you said, a lot of people, not just Bangladesh fans, but fans, cricket fans expect a lot more from him. But if you have a look at his numbers against the top 10 teams, look at that strike rate. 120. That's not good enough in this day and age. Against the other teams, it's 143, which is, again, you think these are not top 10 teams. These are teams below that.
Yes,
your
but
strike
still
rate
not.
shouldn't be 143 against them. Your strike rate needs to be about 180, 200. When you're playing the minnows, you've got to be stamping your authority and your class and saying that 143 is not acceptable against even the big teams. If you're if you're the top player of your side. So against the minnows, is definitely not acceptable. So he has definitely flattered to deceive.
But you think it's a little unfair on him because, see, he's not naturally an aggressive player. So is it a little unfair for him to be given that position, or is it something which is demanded? Like, I know you all will both laugh, but I'm going to give the example of Ajinkya, who changed his game around in the IPL. We knew that he's not an aggressive player, but he came into the IPL, shifted gears. In the last 2 years, we've seen what he's done. So is that what one can expect from a Litun Das?
You have to constantly adapt. But again, it's the brief or the messaging. That's why I come back to the messaging. What is it that you expect from your players? And will you back your players? Because if somebody has to change, he has to unlearn a few things to relearn a few. And over there, you can have the odd few games or maybe a couple of months where you are not going to achieve what you have achieved. So are you going to back a player during those tough times? Is he a mainstay? So all those kind of things come out. And then that's where, if you've given him the captaincy as well, which means that he is going to be playing, what is it that he sees himself as? What is it that the coach and the management and the selectors see him as? So that kind of messaging has to be very clear. But again, when it comes to adapting to demands, I think all of us are constantly doing it. Have to do it, because if you want to stay ahead of the curve or even on top of the curve as players, you have to constantly reinvent the wheel. And I think that is something which will be expected, because at the end of the day, somebody will show him, you're a great player, a very, very good player. But what you showed...
The numbers aren't saying that.
Yeah. I know cold stats can be deceiving sometimes, but against top 10 teams, this is what you do.
No, but against them.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Below 10, if your
100%.
strike rate is 140.
So I'm not saying that the stats are lying here, but I'm saying stats can be deceiving. So over here, it's very clear cut that, listen, boss, what is this? You're too good a player to be doing this. What do you need to do? So somebody needs to help him, whether it's himself or somebody who he has. But definitely, he's got the quality, he's got the goods. It's about something clicking. That's the same for every one of us. There's something which stops you from being the better person. And that's why you're constantly asking the why when you look at the greats and why are these guys so good.
Well, you spoke about the management and you spoke about captaincy. I will come back to that because I want to see the Bangladesh 11. There are quite a lot of changes in that Bangladesh 11. 4 changes in...
Taskin is back.
Yeah.
Taskin Ahmad is back and...
No, Mustafizur is there. Rishad is there. No Parvez Hussain. Parvez Hussain got a duck in the last game. So there's Saif Hassan. No Mehdi. So, yeah. No Tanzim.
And no Shoriful either.
No Shoriful. Shoriful came in place of Taskin, so he's gone. I'm surprised that Tanzim is not there. Tanzim actually bowled with a bit of pace, but they've gone for a very different side. So interesting, yeah.
So that's a lot of chopping and changing that we've seen in this
you've dropped
team.
Parvez Hussain.
Yes.
If you look at the numbers of the top order players, he's got the best strike rate. He's the only guy who's got 150. So, I mean, you've got to...
Messaging.
Huh?
The messaging again.
Yeah, you've got to figure out it's T20 in 2025. Okay, you might... Who are your players who are going to get to those runs at a strike rate of 150, 160, 170? We're looking at strike rates of, the other players and they're not...
Much lower, yes.
Much lower. So we've got some... Yes, he may fail, but...
But Rohan, also, do you think this is a do or die game for them? So do you think this is pressing on that panic button?
If it's a do or die game, that's where you have to take a bit of a risk.
4 changes?
Yeah, I'm saying in the sense you've got to take a risk and go with someone like, Parvez, who's got that ability to go at 150. You roll the dice and say, okay, listen, God willing, he'll get us off, he'll be off on a flyer and he'll make sure that, we get a big total. But yeah, it seems like 4 changes seem a lot. I'm not sure, are there any injuries in these changes?
Not that we know of.
So if there are no injuries, it just seems like a lot of changes going into a really crucial game.
Because 5 months from now, Karthik, is the World Cup. So talking about these changes, talking about the management and captaincy you're talking about, Do you think they're going to chop and change the captain for the World Cup, or they'll have to stick with Lithuania?
No, I hope not. I just hope people have that sort of continuance, and also are given that confidence, because it's very important. You don't want to be doing so much in a year like that. Yes, these kind of things can happen well ahead of a big tournament. And most importantly, again, I'll come back to the same thing. Even if you're making a few changes, just tell the person, this is the reason, this is what we want from you. This is what you need to do to maybe improve your performance. And I think that is where I'm a big believer in that clarity. Just say the truth. It is tough to swallow sometimes, but at least you know that nobody is beating around the bush. You're given whatever, whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, just tell the person as you feel, this is the reason you're not there, this is what you need to shape up, and this is the reason why we have kept you out. So I think it keeps everybody in a great space, keeps all the speculation away, keeps all the whispers away from any side. So hopefully, for a team like Bangladesh, again, we keep saying this, there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of passion. That's two ingredients which you need to become a good side. These are so many other things which are small things which make a good side great, and a smaller side better. I think those are the things which are missing. Those are the things you need to figure out.
This is the communication we were talking about the other day as well, just to take care of the players as well and their mental well-being, because they're playing under such high pressure situations that you want to make sure that your players are all mentally doing a good job.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, there is enough pressure playing the sport. And once you have the clarity, you know what you're working for, what you're working towards. And I think it goes a long way in maintaining the balance, maintaining, as I said, keep the whispers away, maintain a good team environment, so to say. And that's why I love the likes of Rohit and Surya and all those guys, because they back their players, they tell the players as is.
Yes.
There is nothing which is not what they feel and what they say anywhere else. So I think that is something which is an absolute, should be written in capitals in a team.
I'm just going back to something Cathy said earlier. He said you may not like it when you have that clarity, the communication as to what's been told to you, but you'll definitely respect it. You know where you stand.
Honesty is what.
Honesty, and you know where you stand, and you know what you need to do to get back into the 11 or get back into the 15 or whatever it is. If they say, okay, this is where you're struggling, we think you need to improve X, Y, Z, you work on those things.
Correct.
So there will be respect. You may not like it. You may think, I've already got this or whatever, but you'll know what you need to do to get back into the 11 or get back into the 15.
Well, talking about respect and talking about someone who's really grown leaps and bounds, I want to talk about is Noor Ahmed. Bangladesh, because they've won the toss, they will be batting first, and Noor Ahmed will come out with the ball, and he's one really exciting bowler. He started off like this little young bowler under the mentorship of Rashid Khan, because we have Murli Karthik in the house. We give a 2-minute speech to Karthik on what really stands out about him for you.
I'm saying give a 4-minute speech to Karthik. Why 2? 4?
No,
He's the left-arm spinner who's spun the ball.
Spinner in the house. He's just been so impressive.
This is our running joke.
I'll tell you this. I'm going to just say one thing and then give it to Karthik. I've got more wickets bowling left-arm wrist spin than Karthik has.
So I think what he's saying is you should be going to it.
That's a fact. Have you got any bowling wrist spin?
3 or 4.
So I've definitely got more than that.
Yeah, okay. Now, look, one of the good things about him is that obviously he's grown in the game. He came in as this exciting young left-arm wrist spinner whom we don't see too much of. And then obviously he has been in the shadows of Rashid Khan. And then a constant comparison.
Yes.
There was also this time when they made this split screen of both of them running from both ends, and it looked very similar. So you can understand, maybe he's modeled himself around Rashid, because these are the kind of players you look up to. All of us have looked up to somebody to...
No, he said that many times, that he'll always go to Rashid, ask him for stuff in between overs, in between matches, constantly be like a shadow to Rashid.
And in GT, I saw that firsthand as well, because both of them hung out together, they stuck together. And obviously you know that when you got somebody like Rashid, you're all ears constantly picking his brain. But what has also happened is that obviously he's worked on his game. The second good thing, sometimes you need this. You are away from the shadow when you're playing franchise cricket. That's exactly what happened. This year, he was at CSK, a place which is conducive to spin bowling, we all know, but also away from the shadows of Rashid Khan, away from the constant comparison to Rashid Khan, and also, more importantly, under the tutelage or mentorship of MSD. You can't get a better wicket-keeper sort of a person when you are trying to grow into the game with all the brains that he has behind the stumps. He's got the pulse of what the batter is going to do. And then you've seen how well Noor has bowled over there and how he's grown in the game. So all these things only add to what you already have. So it's really good to see Noor being the force that he is.
Also, Rohan, when we look at those figures, he's eclipsed Rashid Khan because he started as a student and now he's shoulder to shoulder and even ahead of Rashid. So that's something that every teacher wants to see. But even for this little youngster to go past his hero, these numbers do the talking.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a look at the numbers again, you're right. I mean, the numbers will tell you he's got more wickets than Rashid. But Rashid's in that list.
Yes.
And Rashid's coming off an injury. He's played lesser matches. But just those numbers seem so similar. 132 wickets, 114 wickets. Economy also 7.12, 7.37. Dot ball percentage also pretty much right there. But look, there's no denying the fact that he will be one of the premier spinners in world cricket going forward.
Also, talking about going forward and left-arm spinners, I want to understand why are they such a rare commodity? We've seen Kuldeep, we've seen what he's done in the past few days. What is it about left-arm spinners? Why don't we see more of them? Is it just
left-arm spinners are there? Left-arm legs. I think it's about role models. At the end of the day, who are the role models? When you think of Harbhajan Singh, when you think of the kind of people who took up off spin after looking at Harbhajan Singh. Think of Shane Warne, the kind of role model he was. How many players wanted to bowl like Shane Warne? So you need role models. So ultimately, if you're a left-hander and left-arm spinner, like for me, I was a seamer who wanted to be like Sir Garfield Sobers. So he was a role model for me. So I wanted to bowl fast, which I did. I wanted to bowl spin, which didn't spin. So ultimately what happened, my next role model was a Maninder Singh. So you're looking at role models whom you want to model yourself around, whom you want to learn from. So maybe there aren't enough. So I'm hoping that the likes of Kuldeep set a new trend because he's one of the premier spinners going around. He's got a back full of tricks. So maybe he sets a trend. Maybe if he plays consistently. More importantly, you want somebody to be playing consistently. We saw the likes of Harbhajan and Shane Warne and all these guys play very consistently to create that trend where youngsters looking up are saying, oh, we want to do this. We have had a Brad Hogg, the Pakistani bowler, what's his name? Sukim? Yeah, so people like that are there. Noor, for that matter. So maybe Noor and Kuldeep are the ones who set a new wave of left-arm wristies, not left-arm conventional.
Did you grow up copying anyone's action or watch
Everybody was copying his action.
No. When I was growing up, when I was a kid, my cricketing hero was Jeff Thompson. So and I used to love his action. So when I used to play cricket in the house with my dad, and if my dad was batting at that point,
you were Jeff Thompson.
Yeah, I used to bowl fast, but I used to run through every room. So I'd run right across the kitchen, then go into the bedroom, run across the bedroom, go zigzag, and then come and bowl him. Because I had to have a long run up like Jeff Thompson.
But then how did the spin come into play?
I was just too lazy to keep running fast in the hot sun. So I said, listen, run from 5 steps and bowl. It seems the cleverer thing to do. The
easier thing to do.
Yeah, and the smarter
Why
thing
were you lazy? You didn't even want to spin the ball.
No, for that it was, you had to turn your fingers.
Laziness again.
Yeah, again.
But Karthik, just going back to my previous question, is it also tougher to just get accuracy with being a wrist spinner?
Yeah, it is tough. Look, it is very, very tough. Wrist spin and getting to be accurate and getting to have all those tricks, very, very tough. That's why you regard Shane Warne or you look at what Kuldeep is doing now. Yeah. It's just unbelievable to be able to have all those variations and be deadly accurate and be so good. Never easy. Brad Hogg was good. Simon Cattage used to bowl a bit of dodgy. He got Biru at 195, so I can't say that he'll kill me.
Well, someone who needs to be accurate today is Bangladesh. They need to be bang on because they need to win this game today. And talking about accuracy, we have to have a look at a man who's always very accurate with his questions that he... Rohan, are you excited for this?
I am, yeah.
You missed it because you know Rohan always gets this right. He's
no, but I'm out of touch at the moment. I'm out of touch at the moment. I didn't know we had a joy factor.
I'm just hyping you up because I know that you get these answers. He's very good with the joy factor question. So someone in the studio gets it. I know you've gone on your phone and you're not even looking.
I'm not bothered.
You're not even looking, but we'll have a look at the joy factor question of the day. Which cricketer in this Asia Cup was the first person from his country to be picked in the IPL and holds the record for the second fastest T20I half century for his nation?
Maybe.
Come on,
I
Karthik.
Oh, Rashid Khan. I
Rashid
think.
Khan.
Rashid Khan.
It's a trick question because
But
he's gone for
Rashid Khan,
Rashid's
I think
batting.
Rashid got a brilliant
No,
50.
he's got, Joy's got a
Brilliant.
trick
Joy's got
question
it.
with
I think this is
second
Rashid Khan.
fastest.
Even with my partial hearing, I got this.
Yeah.
Because he was the first person, I think, who got picked.
From Afghanistan.
And then he got a
I'll
quick
let
fire
you feel happy about it, but I don't think that is the answer. But you can feel happy about it because he usually
ठीक है,
doesn't.
कुछ तो at least interest दिखाया.
At least question समझ में आया. So
नहीं समझ नहीं आया. At least I feel like I can answer. Whether right or wrong, I don't know.
well, you've answered this. We have to now answer something which
I've been getting
have
really-
had a 50-50 percentage
You are on top.
win. Oh, I still
are
am on
you?
top.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've been away for 4 days. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
secret.
yeah. That's
you have
a
to be
good
away.
thing.
You have
Yeah.
to be away. But Rohan, you're first in here, so you go first.
This is at the end of 20.
The first innings, 20 overs.
I'm going to go with
Bangladesh batting first.
148.
I'm going last today.
You're going last. 148. I am going with 156.
With Bangladesh batting first. Okay, I'm going 142.
You're staying very close to Rohan. I can see that.
No, I have to stay close to you because you're the one who's leading right now. I tried staying close to Simon Dool. I should have used my own brain yesterday.
All right.
But anyways, so it's Sufyan Mukim. It's like I always get his name wrong. The left arm.
The Pakistani
wristy
left
from,
arm.
Yeah, that's what I was looking
Yeah.
at. Because I always confuse his name. It's like, yeah.
Then don't say it.
No, I have to say it, yeah.
Well, someone who's confused us a lot today is the Bangladesh 11. So let's have a look at Bangladesh's 11. They've gone ahead with 4 changes. These are the 4 changes that Bangladesh have in their playing 11. And Afghanistan, complete clarity, no changes whatsoever. They've gone ahead with no changes in their playing 11. We want Rohan to get off to a good start because we want to welcome him to the studio. So hopefully, Rohan, you get your guesses right today.
Hopefully, even if I get one guess right today, I'll be happy.
Yeah, 50% is
Yeah,
great. Then
50%
we
I'm
both,
happy.
I think, then I'll be at number
At
2,
tied?
you'll be at 1. No, I think I'll go down, but that's okay. I'm
Yeah,
a very
yeah.
generous host, so I'm happy if Rohan wins. I know that Murli Karthik's very competitive and he doesn't like anyone winning. So I'll support Rohan.
not the quiz.
I know.
I
the
always
quiz is
regard
game.
people who are intelligent.
Yes.
Over here, I'm like,
I know.
because I have a reputation to maintain, no?
All right.
In the guessing game.
Yeah, I stood first and finished third in the
He
IPL.
finishes every show by reminding us that he stood
finished
first and
first,
second.
yeah.
So now this
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
4th day in the row
Amazing.
that we have been reminded. Before we are reminded once again, we will run away from here. But do join us at the 10 hour point at the Crick Buzz Combox. Thank you for watching Crick Buzz Live.